Advising students can be very challenging, and I think it comes down to really what each student wants to accomplish. Because yeah, there's a lot of competition for your academics and other activities, especially when you get to your senior year and you got to figure out what to do with your life. You know, you've got to finish, and you got to finish strong. You got to start looking for opportunities, and at the same time, you're trying to gain some real practical experience. And yeah, you're not getting paid, and there's no guarantees. I think it comes to having an advisor or a faculty member or a faculty advisor who can really work with you to understand how important that experience with a student agency, how that can impact your opportunities after college, and then it's really up to the student. If that doesn't motivate you, I'm not sure what will.
PRSSA member at the University of Delaware, and a woman who started a student-run firm, the first firm at the University of Delaware. I can tell you I'm still doing the same job some 30 years later, and I love every minute of it. You know, I found my niche through PRSSA, running a student firm and having a few local clients. And I still, on a daily basis, go back to those early clients, and I've carried those lessons through. So just because you're working at a student-run firm and you might have just a local client, a donut shop, or a local real estate agent, doesn't mean you're not really learning and building your career.
It goes back to, again, going above and beyond. When you're applying for jobs, it's so incredibly important to fill your time with every opportunity that you come across to gain that experience, because people aren't just looking for a good employee anymore, they're looking for a rock star.
Say, for students who are working in a student-run firm, that's going to be an amazing leg up against other people who are looking for a job after college, because you've already had firm experience. If you take a look at a lot of job descriptions, it'll say agency experience preferred. You're already having a leg up by working in a student-run firm.
I think that ultimately participating in a student-run firm gives you that hands-on experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. I got to work with real-world clients, and it has made me a better employee now in my current position.
So I believe if you're really wanting a background in public relations, even if you say, I want to go work in corporate or want to be kind of a shop within a bigger department of sorts, I believe agency gives you a run for your money. I think it really helps you to see, I love it, or I would never do this again. And you have to know that you have to do that process of elimination. Otherwise, you're going to have a heck of a time come out of school thinking, I want the fast-pacedness of an agency, which is, I often hear that. I think I don't like to do the same thing every day. I hear that and I think you have no idea what that really means, that you're going to sometimes do the same thing every day. It's just going to be for different people, and you're going to be pulled in 10 different directions. So they have to get that expectation piece there. But I believe get involved even if it's to volunteer and not even be a part of the staff, but just say, hey, I don't have many hours available, but I'd love to come and do an event when you all are doing an event, just to learn from you all.
I went into the job interview, and that was the first experience that I talked about. I had several internships throughout college. I had 4 actually, within corporate, nonprofit, an agency, and political side, and I still found that the number one thing that I talked about in interviews was my student agency, just because of how hands-on and how interactive it was throughout my college experience. I have now been able to balance all of my clients, because when I was working in the agency, I was working on a couple clients at a time, was really able to kind of grasp that knowledge of what it looks like to work for an agency, and I wouldn't take back that experience at all.
There is absolutely no reason why a PR student who wants to work in PR should not participate in their student-run firm. When I am hiring, and I typically hire entry-level people, if I know their campus had a student-run agency and I don't see it on the resume, I ask why. I think student-run firms should be developing a high sense of accountability and personal responsibility in their students. You're going to get the rest of the stuff in the PR classes. You're going to learn how to write a press release. You're going to learn how to write a social media post and what's important in digital marketing and all of that stuff. But what you need is the real-world hands-on experience of managing a difficult client, of showing up on time, of figuring out how to make something work. So it is that hands-on experience and just having that high level of personal accountability and grit to get through it that will make you highly marketable.
So there are multiple benefits to being part of a student-run firm, and I wish I had had that opportunity. The agency environment is fast-paced and constantly changing, and so it's really great to have exposure to a variety of clients and to learn the skills of time management and prioritization and kind of balancing spinning a lot of plates at once. The other thing that's great about agencies is that you can see a variety of different industries and explore a variety of different tasks, different types of responsibilities. And so it really gives you a chance to discover what you might be interested in pursuing more specifically. For leaders of student-run firms, I think it's an amazing opportunity to be leading an organization like that. And I think it's also a great time to practice leadership skills and practice teamwork skills. And it's a fine balance, definitely. And it's very interesting to be on a small team versus being on a big team and to manage the dynamics of leadership versus teamwork, being, out in the trenches with everybody. I think the key to balancing that is respect. It's respecting your team members no matter what their title is and no matter how much experience they have or how old they are or how long they've been with the company. And that's something that I have really been blessed with here. We have such a great team environment and we really all respect one another, and it's great to be able to work so closely with leadership and know that our founder really is open to listening to my ideas, and just because I'm the newest member of the team doesn't make my ideas any less valuable.
I believe some of the greatest skills that can happen on a college campus, ironically, is communication. And so one of the challenges that young professionals have coming out of school is they really don't know how to communicate. Because although they're in public relations, although they know how to write or they even know how to get up and orate a speech, they don't necessarily know how to communicate with peers and colleagues, particularly when there's challenges. So conflict resolution is also a really important part of that. And the reason why that happens, I believe, I loved college. I loved everything about Belmont. But the things I got the most out of it was in the classroom. And so in the classroom, you get graded. And sometimes you're graded and you're really amazing, and you've always been amazing since you were in kindergarten. And so because you don't know what disappointment looks like, then you don't operate well with other people when they bring you disappointment or when you disappoint them. And so preparing yourself for that is going to be important. It all comes back to how you communicate though, right? Because if you're not a good communicator, you will have challenges being able to really navigate through that. I think the other transferable skill is really knowing that you might not be in the right industry. That's a challenge to know. When I've met PRSSA students and they say, I want to be an event planner, I say, go to the business department, learn how to do the money, learn how to do the logistics, learn how to do those things. Not that you don't do that in public relations, but that's not necessarily the core emphasis of just planning events, right? And so being in that space will teach you also, I don't enjoy this, or I enjoy this better. So it might not just be not doing public relations. It might also be, like for instance, I don't enjoy pitching media. I'm really good at it. I have lots of results and lots of clips. I just don't enjoy the chase in that way. So, but I had to learn that. And so if I had been in a student-run firm, I'd probably learn it sooner. And I probably had even not built my business initially around that, right? And so that's where you want to think about, like, I don't enjoy these tasks. So it's not that you don't do them when you're first starting and you go into a professional environment. It's just that you know you're planning for something bigger or something different or something greater, because I'm not going to ever be in love with this particular task, which again doesn't mean you don't do it. It just means that you know you got to kind of plan and train for something else too.
You can learn a lot of things in class, but when you have to sit across the table from a client, understand what their business objectives are, and then piece together how you can contribute to that success, that's pretty invaluable. Because in the end, working at an agency, it really comes down to working as a team, so you learn that in a student-run firm, working for a client and negotiating with a client so that they're getting their objectives achieved, and you are as well. You get that skill of negotiation. So yeah, teamwork and negotiation, invaluable, and really you can't get that anywhere else.